Douglas County Libraries was one of the busiest, fastest growing libraries in the land, with a spirit and tradition of remarkable service and innovation. The library's brand had not kept pace with the library's unprecedented growth. Staff and patrons were confused.
A good brand is... Our very civilization is threatened by chaos and confusion. We need a good brand to combat the chaos and avenge our reputation.
The reason it's important to build a brand platform for Douglas County Libraries is because ultimately everything is about identity. We need to figure out who we are and what we value. Once we get that straight, we have organizational alignment, then we believe in the work that we're doing, and it just makes it easier to make it happen.
A strong brand gives us a foundation to build upon. It keeps us all together and moving forward towards our unified goals.
A strong brand defines the personality of an organization. It helps employees make decisions. It lets our customers know what they can expect from us. It should invoke a positive personal connection for users and non-users alike.
A brand unifies an organization really by streamlining the communication process, both internally and externally. When there's better communication, there's less cause for confusion and uncertainty, and that leads to more unity.
I can say for Whole Foods, it's really the foundation of every decision we make.
Our brand should be memorable because it will tell our story and convey our values. And it's because of all the input we have had from staff that we have created a brand platform that we all can be proud of.
I think a memorable brand says, this is who we are, this is what we stand for, and this is where you belong. A strong brand activates emotion.
We created a task force. We turned our attention to thwarting the impending doom. We are champions of justice for public perception and patron service.
We created a task force. The task force was comprised of both internal and external members. There were 6 external members, marketers from a variety of organizations, 1 board member, 13 staff, representative of all branches, and 1 neutral facilitator.
I think what I found most interesting about the process was the comments of the community members. What seems so obvious to us, the fact that we are passionate advocates for literacy and lifelong learning, was a surprise to them.
What I enjoyed most about this task force was that it wasn't just a focus group where they showed us the final product and we voted on it. The task force actually created the process from the ground up.
I enjoyed seeing the external members part of the brand task force. They gave us examples of how they lived their brand and their core values in the workplace and how it saturates every part of their organization. That was really exciting.
Beginning in June 2011 with a proposal to DRT, this process has taken nearly a year to complete.
For a project of this type, it's really important to have a timeline in place so that we can accomplish everything that needs to happen for the project. There's a lot of steps. It's also important for communication. We wanted to make sure that we involved the entire organization throughout the process and keep everybody motivated and inspired for the duration of the project. The basic timeline of this project was about 12 months from the time that we proposed it to DRT and got approval. By the time we actually launched the new brand to the public, it will be about a 14-month process.
We conducted community research. Over 3,200 online surveys were completed. Nearly 500 phone surveys took place. We received over 10,000 comments. Several expert-led focus groups were held, and over 245 staff members shared their input.
The Board of Trustees of Douglas County Libraries was involved in a couple of different levels throughout the process. There was a trustee present at the brand task force meetings that met on a regular basis, as well as ongoing presentations and discussion in our monthly public board meetings.
It's really important to involve the community in any kind of rebranding process, especially in a public institution. It's important to make sure that their thoughts and their concerns are part of this process every step of the way.
So we had to set out to try to redefine that brand. We've had a couple of attempts along the way, changing who we are, but ultimately I think it comes back to finding out what the community wants.
We conducted research.
Our thirst for information is rewarded. Having leapt into the depths of the research, we emerge ready to act.
The more you can do that research on the front end, the more alignment you get between what your users want, what they don't want, and even what your non-supporters want, to really kind of cross the communication continuum across all your different subgroups. You hear the word library, it conjures up images of books, maybe experiences in your childhood. While it's important to consider those factors when considering the brand or Douglas County Libraries, we already had the word in there, so we weren't worried about communicating books and getting to kind of the more traditional perceptions of a library. We wanted to dig deeper. So even though people may not support the district or may not use as often as you'd like, I think that there were a lot of common themes that the organization can leverage.
What I found most compelling about the research portion of this project was it was very exciting to see how connected patrons were to the library and how passionate they felt about the library. Statements like, the library is home to us, we walk in the door and just feel a sense of peace.
I think what I most enjoyed about the research is that it's a little bit narcissistic, right? It's like, so we talk about ourselves all the time, but it's like, but enough about me. What do you think about me? And so that research was what people really felt about the library. Not just how they used us, because we knew about that, but what was the emotional connection they had to our services, and that was enlightening.
Libraries for 100 years have had the brand of books. It is obvious. When you say libraries, people think books. Really, that wasn't deep enough for us and for Douglas County, and especially now in the beginning of the second decade of the 21st century, we had to redefine in some ways who we were, not only in the directions we're going, but in the minds of our patrons.
I think what seemed to surprise both us and the researcher is that people just didn't fill out the survey and say, that's that. They also took the chance to tell a little narrative. They wanted us to understand the value that we had in their lives. And I think what I learned about that, the part that I saw in the stories, was that we always say, we change lives, we transform lives. This was their chance to tell us that.
The brand platform.
Hi-ya! Armed with knowledge, we are masters of our own destiny. A brand platform is born.
A brand is more than a logo. It is the intangible sum of attributes we have, promises we make, and expectations patrons have of us. A strong brand can influence what people think of Douglas County Libraries. A lot of people think that a brand platform or a branding effort is very similar to an ad campaign, where in reality they're actually very different. An ad campaign is a short-lived campaign, usually tied to a very creative message that highlights either a product or a certain message of support. A brand platform is something that lives within the organization.
We are a place of discovery. That clearly was one of the key elements from all of our patrons' view. The people who use the library and people who don't, they viewed us as a place of exploration, a place of discovery.
Our core values: deliver books and more, serve all, build literacy, explore and discover, be friendly and helpful, blaze a trail, create connections, make it work. Our personality: innovative, knowledgeable, friendly, helpful, approachable, accepting, engaging, accessible, inspirational, adaptable, responsible.
The brand promise, or qualities of the brand, are really a glimpse into that organization's soul.
Douglas County Libraries is
passionate about literacy in all its forms.
We facilitate exploration and discovery
through many channels.
We are a vibrant network of
welcoming and comfortable places
that provide access to a relevant, enlightening,
and entertaining collection of materials.
Through capable and friendly staff,
we provide access to quality services and dynamic programs that serve all of our community.
We are an innovative role model and leader among public libraries.
And a dedicated advocate for them and their futures.
To our community, Douglas County Libraries is a network of skilled people, comfortable spaces, and dynamic programs dedicated to providing relevant resources and quality patron services. because we believe in discovery, exploration, and literacy.
The evolution of a logo. Dashing headlong toward exploration, discovery, and innovation, we transform our look from mild-mannered to marvelous and meaningful.
Before there was even a sketch, we reviewed thousands of comments from patrons and staff.
The process was organic. I started with a pencil and a paper, sketched out ideas. I chose colors that represented innovation, discovery, exploration, everything that Douglas County Libraries is about. The main elements that were important for me to capture in the design were innovation, discovery, listening to the patrons' feedback, and I also wanted to create a logo that was simple, artistic, with a little bit of a contemporary twist to it.
So now that we've seen our logo, and you've heard about the brand platform, I think it's important to remember that the brand platform really encompasses so much more than just the logo, even though it's exciting and we're all excited to have this new and modern logo. The brand platform is our core values, it's our guiding principles. It's that vision and mission we all love and we're all passionate about.
What comes next? The Library of Tomorrow flies towards a thrilling future.
We're going to discover how the brand actually can develop over the course of time to meet the needs of the 21st century customer.
When the smoke clears, we may still have obstacles to overcome. We accept the challenge.
In looking at how the board will support the overall brand platform, we work primarily with the library director in terms of our development of strategic direction, strategic initiatives, and through our annual budget approval process and setting of strategic goals.
It is very important to integrate the brand platform into our culture, and I think ultimately it's going to be quite easy for us to do. The brand platform is the description of who we are. It is who we are in the minds of our patrons, it's who we are in the minds of our staff, it's who we are in the minds of our administration.
I think what I learned about the importance of branding is that no matter how good a job you think you're doing, it's useful, productive to go back and touch base with those core values that motivate you to do what we do in the first place. I hope the way that we use this branding platform in the future is to enable our staff to become ambassadors to the community, to be able to speak from that same script about to clearly understand why we do things and the value of the services we provide.